Welcome back, traders. Today we are going to be looking at the Bitcoin ETF decision that's coming up on January 10th. First, I'd like to do some housekeeping. I'll be out for a couple of weeks here, going on vacation for the Christmas and New Year's holiday. So this will be the last video of any quality that I produce for the rest of the year. Any other videos coming out between now and like mid-January are going to be on my iPad, and the audio is going to be pretty terrible, so please forgive me for that. I apologize in advance for the bad audio that you will inevitably experience for any videos coming up in the next couple of weeks here. I'll try to do some shorts as well to try to, if anything interesting happens that I'd like to cover, they'll show up in my shorts most likely than anywhere else. But I'll probably end up doing one or two for the on my iPad just because I'm sure something will happen. Anyways, Bitcoin ETF, January 10th. SEC needs to make a decision. They're either going to approve, deny, or postpone the spot Bitcoin ETF. Everyone's very excited about this because if it gets approved, Bitcoin's going through the roof. If it gets denied, we're going to hit the floor. And if they postpone it, we're probably just going to see some average price action out of Bitcoin. So it is a big deal. It's a big deal. So Bitcoin right now, this is what we're looking at with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I am seeing a potential double top right here, here, and here. So we go right there, seeing a top here, here. This is the center line right there that I've drawn on this red dash line. Price looks like it wants to come back there. If price goes below this little box that I drew here, under 40,000, under 43,000, we're probably going to drop down and test the center line for the double top here. That's what we're likely going to see out of normal price action. If the Bitcoin ETF is postponed, we'll probably see that type of price action. If it is approved, sky's the limit. Who knows where it's going to stop? It's just going to go crazy. It's going to go nuts. I think this is a buy the rumor, sell the news event. So I think people are running it up now preemptively, and that when the news comes out, we'll see a dip in price. That's pretty common in markets to see a buy the rumor, sell the news event. So it's important not to FOMO into anything right now. FOMO is super dangerous. In fact, I'm feeling it because, I mean, even though I'm wildly up on my Bitcoin miners that I hold, I do feel like I have missed out because I have been selling all the way up. So I do have that fear of missing out, that FOMO happening. And anytime I feel it, I just sell a little bit more. And that kind of makes it go away because I'm making profits. So what am I crying about? Anyways, I'm thinking Bitcoin's going to come back down to the 40,000 if we get past that. I'm going to turn on the Gaussian channel. This is the one-day Gaussian channel. I think if we get past this double top here, we're coming down to the center, probably the center of the Gaussian channel here around 36,000. That's what I'm looking at. Gaussian channel kind of just measures it. It's a bit like VWAP. Honestly, it's a bit like VWAP. I like using it on Bitcoin. If we go to the weekly on this, it's way down here. And usually we touch this thing like at least once a year or two, once or twice. It's all the way down to 29,000 on the weekly. I like the 3-day, kind of goes between 1 day and a week. So on the 3-day, it's actually down here at this box at 31,000. We could totally get back down there. We could totally get back down there. There's really nothing holding us up here between 30,000 and 40,000. Like there's this little bit right here, and actually that's that 30,000. Never mind. That's nothing. There's nothing here. It's just this upward move here, which is not support. It's really the only thing between us and going down, and this like choppiness right here and that maybe right here. No, that's down to 30s too. Yeah, there's really not much support here. We're forming support right now with these candles. So we don't really have support underneath $40,000 holding us up down to 30. So if we break this here with this double top plays out, like we could really see it come down pretty dramatically. So that's something to look out for on Bitcoin. Now, of course, the news this is a news-driven cycle at the moment on Bitcoin, so good news means we're going to go up. I am hoping that we come down a bit. Like that's my want. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the price action is saying down is probably likely, especially with this lower high and this equal low here at the top of the range. This feels like distribution up here is what that looks like and feels like. We might get one more little up thrust up to like 48 for like a day or two, and then distribution starts coming into play down to 30,000. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm expecting. If it doesn't happen, I'll wait for it to come up here, base somewhere up here, and then I'll start buying again on some other stuff. Anyways, let's get into the miners. So we got CIRFW, Cipher Mining Warrants. these things are working, they're diverging from their underlying stock. And the reason for that is, as you can see, on Thursday, December 14th, these things were selling for 40 cents. And then on December 19th, just 5 days later, they were selling for $1.80 for a moment. If you're not taking profit on something you bought at 40 cents when it goes up to about $2, I'm wondering about your sanity there, because that's a lot of gains. It's 300% or something of gains that happen in 5 days. Take profits on that. Like, that's just silly not to. And that's why this is diverging from the stock. It's going to do that for a while. I'm actually really surprised it's starting to base around the 120 area and hold there, because there's really not any support here. Like, there's nothing holding this thing up here. When it comes back down, it's going to come back down under $1 probably pretty quickly, because there's just nothing there. It's just dead air. And it went right up. You can see this where I put it. It went right up into this resistance zone here, stopped right at it, right at the top of some of these candles here, and then reversed. And now it's starting to base. Yeah, I guess it's starting to base in here. There's a little bit of support right here, like a few days worth, right here up to what, the $1.28 level. But we get under that, and I'm looking at $1 as a target. I'm looking at 84 cents as a target. I would really like to see it come back into this channel here, which, if Cipher Mining starts to drop off in price, which it has been now, it's looking like it's ready to. If that drops in price, I think we can see the warrants go under $1 again. And under $1, I'm buying a bunch of them. Like, I personally have buy orders at 77 cents and like at 50 cents for like thousands of shares of that. That's what I'm looking at and I'm trying to do. Of course, this is not advice to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. It's just what I'm planning to do, what I see on the charts, and what I'm thinking about when I am trying to deploy capital. Anyways, Cipher Mining, this is looking like, let's turn on the fair value gap. There's a bunch of gaps underneath it. It's just been absolutely parabolic since the 13th, 14th. Did a nice double bottom here. So bottom, middle, bottom, went right past the middle, up right back to the top. So this double bottom move, this is done. Like, that was the move. The move was from here up to here, and now it's done. And it's going to bleed off a bit from here probably into the news on January 10th, where it's either going to fall off a cliff or rocket to the moon. That's what we're looking at there. But I am seeing a series of lower, well, that was low, high, lower, high, higher low, lower high, lower low, light, slightly, no, same low, lower high, right? No, slightly higher high. This thing is all over the place. This thing is just whips on all over the place. This can't even make formation right here. This is just crazy. This does look like a cup, but it failed because it came all the way down here. This was a double bottom. This could be a double top if it gets, I don't see it going under 230. That would be crazy. That would be nuts. And then come all the way down to like $1. I mean, it's possible, but I don't see that happening. I think it's going to bleed down, probably something like this. Probably going to see it go like something like this. Probably something like that down into the channel again. That's what I'm expecting. And then probably around here, maybe bounce somewhere around here at the 315 level or so. But with that, when that happens, the warrants will probably be under $1. That's my expectation. I want to see Cipher down at about 315. I want to see warrants under $1. Of course, if the Bitcoin ETF gets approved, then none of that's going to happen. But charts say that these stocks need to let off the pressure a little bit, just like I was saying with Mara before. Now let's look at Bitfarms. Bitfarms looks good. But Bitfarms might be proving that it is a $3 stock. Honestly, I mean, it's $4, right? No, this is Canadian version. This is the Canadian one. Let me bring up the real one. There we go. Okay, the Canadian one is real too. Anyways, this thing is proving that it's a $3 stock. Honestly, it might be proving that it is a $3 stock. I don't know what to do with this. So this is not out of this channel yet. If it gets out of this channel, $4 is in reach. Like, wow, Bitcoin. I mean, Bitfarms has been really just outperforming all my wild list expectations for it. Same with Marathon Digital. I never thought this thing was going to be at $3 right now. I thought this was going to come down to like $1. I was prepared to continue buying this at $1 for another 3-4 months. And then it just took off. I do think we need to come back and test this top here, though. I think 216 is a reasonable expectation that it needs to come back and test this. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't. We are forming a gigantic bowl. Big, gigantic bowl here. And the handle could be down to this 2 18. Now, again, if Bitcoin ETF gets approved, probably going to see $4. We might even see 5. That's nuts. I was buying this at 97 cents, and now I'm talking about it potentially being worth $5 just a few months later. That's insane. Anyways, this formation doesn't look that weak. Honestly, this looks like controlled selling into buying, into a buying continuation structure. That's what I'm seeing here on Bitfarms. Even though this went absolutely parabolic, it started cooling off when other Bitcoin miners started cooling off, and then they went right back into buying again. If we go down into like the 2 hours, let's take a look here. Yeah, on the 2 hour, let me turn off just regular trading days. All right. I mean, on the 2 hour chart, yeah, we were seeing controlled selling followed by buying, controlled selling, bit of buying, controlled selling, buying, controlled selling, buying. Now we need to look out for the opposite though, because now that I'm seeing this on the opposite, I mean, I do like these wicks on the bottom. These candles all look good. This all looks strong. Whew, it's really hard to say. I want more Bitfarms. I really want more Bitfarms, and I really don't want to pay over $2 for it. But the more I look at this, the more I think I might have to, because I want to see it at least come back to this. Oh, I didn't quite make that top now, did I? There it is. I want to see it come back to this 216 level. I want to see that to make me feel good about this move. Because usually, like, yeah, you'll see like some basing out and like some downward move, and usually get back like half of a big move. I mean, this one in July, I thought this was big. I thought this was a big move, and then back down to 90 cents. I mean, but remember, again, in July, we went up from $1.10 to 216, and then back down to 92 cents. We did that last time. And the formation up here, so what did the formation look like over here when we got up? I mean, but we really just peaked and then piled off a bit, and then formed a bear flag, and then went further, formed another bear flag, and then went further, and then kind of came up in a bit of a controlled buying, and then dumped it again. I'm not seeing that over here. I don't see that at all over here. So I am conflicted on Bitfarms. I'm not buying any right now. I want to see it come back down. But I mean, if it proves that it deserves to be a $3 stock, then I guess I just have to accept that it's a $3 stock. And we're still waiting for that. We're still waiting. Like if it shoots up way above $3 and comes back to test $3 again, I guess I'm buying it at $3, I suppose. And that's okay. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I still think it's going to 10x from there at some point in the next 2 years. But I'm just astonished, honestly, by how this thing has moved. It's been amazing. And I'm just, where do I get back in again? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Where do I get back in again? I would like to come down to this 216, but then I would also like to see it give back like, this is just, again, this is like basically parabolic. This has been going on from November 28th. It's got to give some of that back. And what I'm looking for is controlled buying into deep selling. I want to see a big red candle after like a bunch of small blue ones here on my chart, green on some other people's charts. I want to see a couple of blue ones followed by a big red one, and then a couple of blue ones followed by another big red one. Kind of like right here. This is what I want to see. This is exactly what I want to see. Let me go into an hourly chart on that actually. All right. This is exactly the kind of thing I want to see. I want to see it like, see a couple of blues, followed by a little bit of a dip, couple of blues, and then big red. Couple of blues, big red. Couple of blues. This one kind of broke it. But that's what I want to see. Couple of blue candles, big red. Like this too. I mean, this came up here, big red. Now, if I can see one more big red candle kind of getting down here, maybe even touching, coming back to the center of this, like a big one, that's going to make me feel pretty good that it's going to come back down. But until I see that, I mean, this is still it's not bearish yet. Still looking bullish, which is crazy. Even though the move was parabolic and there's no support really down here until we get down to like the $2 level. That's where we really see some support. I mean, honestly, it's like $1.87. That's where we really see a lot of support. But I also like to keep in mind always that when in July, well, actually after the July run up, I was looking here for support. I was looking here. I thought this was for sure going to be tons and tons of support, and that this was going to hold it up, and that price wasn't going to get underneath that. I really didn't think price was going to get under that $1.08 level. And it came right to it, bounced off a little bit, came to the very base of it for a few days, and then went under it, back above it for the back test, and then back below it. Like, I never thought it was going to get under that. So me thinking that it's not going to get back under here just because things look super bullish right now. I mean, it's a bit humbling to remember like some of the things I thought weren't going to happen did happen. So it could come back down here. And if it gets back under $2, yeah, I'm buying a bunch of Bitfarms. Like I think Bitfarms is getting bought up by institutions right now. I think this was institutional buying. That's my thought. Like as soon as they announced that they were going to match, like get up to what almost 20 exahash with these new Bitcoin miners, I think institutions finally decided Bitfarms was one to buy because they didn't have a lot of institutional buyers before, and I think they do now. I think when we see the Q4 reports for the institutions, that Bitfarms is going to be on their balance sheets now, and I think that's what this move was. We'll see. We'll see. It'll come out pretty soon, actually. So we'll find out. But I'm not buying anything unless it proves that this is the move. Like it needs to get over this 316 and back test it, and then I'm going to believe that okay, maybe it can keep going. If it doesn't do that, I'm just waiting for it to come down right now. Just waiting. Bit Digital did great. Bit Digital's been doing great. I think $4. It hit $4. Okay, it hit $4. I'm thinking, yeah. Bit Digital lagged a bit while the others were going up here in December. Like this one had a big drop off and then kind of like slowly, like with red candles, building up with the red candles. So Bit Digital is building up again. I think they might have something up their sleeve. I do think that we could probably see like that $5 range here in this move before we come back down because I mean this was just bullish. This was super bullish. I mean Marathon had a super bullish candle too, but like they're also like at the hippie top of their range. It is. Whereas Bit Digital hasn't even retaken the previous high from last cycle yet. So I'm still holding on to that. I think it could get up here. Um, it's in this upward channel. It's above this. We might backtest this 360 here and then go on to $5. But again, I've just been selling into this strength. Honestly, on Bit Digital, I don't like some of the things that they've been doing, so I've been selling into this strength. We do have a pretty significant RSI divergence here. You see RSI divergence was at, when it was at 60? Yeah, when it was at 360, RSI was at 96 and now it's at 85. So when we break this line here, this is probably gonna come all the way back down to like $2 when it does that. So watch out for that. This did a nice cup and handle though, like right here, cup, handle, boom. Yeah, we're probably gonna keep going up for a bit on Bit Digital. Honestly, that's what I'm looking at here. I'm thinking 450, almost $5. This top here. I want to see it get close to this top because if you look at the other ones, at least the other two I follow, Cypher I don't think beat its top from July, did it? No. Cypher still could, I guess, beat its top, but it barely took out this top here and failed here. So I don't know. I don't know if it has the strength to do it. Bitfarms did, dang. Like wow. It almost went up to what? 318 from two. It went up $1 more from its previous top in July. Marathon, I think, just Marathon blew it out of the water. Its top two. Yeah, its top was at 19, $20, and we went up to like 30 almost. Bit Digital, I think, can do it too. I don't think it's going to be because there's, I mean, so the thing I'm seeing different in this from Cypher is Cypher had its top right here, right? It's in Cypher, so we had the top, right? And we came back to it and we failed to beat it, right? So like really take it out before rejecting. Bit Digital blasted right past it. So Bit Digital is going to come back down to about 360 and then probably try to make a run for like $5. That's what my thought is on this. And that's the difference I see between Bit Digital and Cypher. Bit Digital is showing strength when reaching this previous top from early December, while Cypher is showing weakness. And that's the whole difference in what I'm seing there. Let's look at Hut real quick. Hut, same thing. Same thing as Bit Digital, honestly. It was kind of lagging behind some of the other ones. It had really great news recently. This was a bull flag, excuse me. This was a bull flag. I know some people that watch me came down here and bought this dip, and they're just having like the best time ever right now. I imagine they're up 100%. That's amazing. Congratulations to anyone that did that. I wasn't quite ready to get in on Hut yet for that one. Looks like we filled this gap and got rejected a little bit, but that's okay because there's really nothing in our way here. Um, Hut Hut could easily go to $24. Like it could easily go to like 20, 24, maybe even test this high back here from July at 30. Wow, that would be an insane move still if it did that. I mean, but it's got the ability. It could do it. Um, I mean, our side is still hot, not as hot as some other miners are. The volume's still ticking up. This is honestly looking a little bit, if it came down, I don't hate this formation. Like this was a nice flag. If we did get another flag, I wouldn't be surprised if another bull flag took us up into the 20s on on HUT. HUT looks good. I like the way it looks. That makes me feel good about it. We could come as low as 1824 before I'm getting bearish on this again. That's what I'm looking at there with HUT. So that's the update. That's what's going on. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day and some happy holidays.